Hi, my name is Camila. Thank you for stopping by. This will be a simple draw with me video. I will be drawing an early spring inspired fashion illustration featuring a model, Jasmine Tookes. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for your support, and if you're new, consider subscribing if you like art videos. I post every other week and I share time-lapse paintings and digital art tutorials. I also have an in-print account if you would like to get any of my artworks as physical prints, and a coffee if you would like to get one of my digital wallpaper packs. Okay, and that's everything for my intro. Let's get into the video. The thumbnail is a lie, a clickbait if you will. I do not have a fancy tablet with a screen. Actually, I share my full equipment in my digital art for beginners video, but it is my hand in the thumbnail, so it's not a complete lie. And this will be a chatty video. I will talk about my drawing process and inspiration. I've seen a lot of such videos on YouTube, so I hope you will enjoy it. I prefer to have a mix of different videos on my channel, even though I do know that most people probably subscribe for tutorials. There is so much I can share when it comes to my tips and tricks because I use the same techniques all the time. Here I decided to focus more on close-ups of my brush strokes rather than the full screen time-lapse, as I'm using the exact same brushes as I always do. And to be honest, yeah, my technique is still the same. Also, the clips are not sped up, so this is a real-time footage of me drawing. Though, of course, I did shorten the sections, so this video is not 2 hours long. This time the only thing I'm doing differently is the fact that I'm not starting with a messy sketch here. Since this illustration was rather simple, I didn't feel the need to. But in more complex illustrations, or if I don't have a clear vision of what to draw, I would go back to this technique. I explained this in my other video about the fear of blank canvas. Sometimes the messy sketch is useful to see the overall composition of the drawing, or just to see how your vision would translate on canvas before going in with the line art. But this particular illustration is pretty straightforward, even though in the end I did decide to add more elements that you would see in a few minutes. You can also check out my other painting process videos to see exactly what brushes, layers and techniques I'm using. I have a full playlist dedicated to my time lapses and another one for my tutorials. There is no one way of going about an illustration. You are free to experiment and try out new things. For example, I use the watercolor technique most of the time, but for this illustration I decided to go for a more of a mixed media effect, or I could even call it a collage. I did paint her face as I normally would my digital watercolor drawings, but the rest of her outfit was painted with more textured brushes. I'm using Krita, so the brushes are from the RGBA category. And to finish off, I added textures to achieve the collage look. I will tell you more about what inspired me to draw this kind of a background in a little bit. In this drawing, I think the ugly stage was not so bad, but I did try to fix her face during the process, and once everything was finished, I also did some adjustments. I also have another video which is about tips on how to fix your drawings in Krita, and those techniques are super useful at any stage of your drawing. Though the liquify brush in Krita does blur the pixels when you use it, so I try to fix all my mistakes during the sketching process. However, sometimes I see more mistakes once the full painting is finished, so I use it at the very end, which is not ideal, especially since I'm using textures as my background. But when I have an illustration like this, where it's not necessarily 100% focused on the watercolor effect, I think this is fine, even if I lose the quality a little bit. In that way, it also creates a different kind of effect, more smooth and blurry. This may look like a very simple illustration, but I did practice something when I was drawing it, and that thing is her lips and teeth. Usually I avoid drawing open lips because they may turn out looking quite weird very quickly. Drawing each tooth individually would look very unnatural and unappealing in my style of illustration, and drawing the teeth in a more cartoonish way would ruin the high fashion style as well. So for me it's quite difficult to find the right balance. It should be a simple brush stroke indicating the position of the teeth, but it cannot be also too light or too dark of a color. So in general, drawing teeth is a no-no, and I was really worried it would make the whole drawing ugly, but after shading and fixing everything with the liquefied brush, I think her face looks pretty. For me, the blush and makeup is always the best part of any painting if I'm drawing a portrait. So even if in the photo the model does not have a lot of blush, I will add the rosy cheeks anyway because it just looks so cute and girly and lively. And for her outfit, I actually drew this illustration the same day. She uploaded this photo on her Instagram because I loved this look so much. It's such a perfect early spring combo, the off-white coat and this beige yellow handbag. Actually, the color of this bag is so interesting. I would love to add something like this to my own wardrobe. I was such a yellow hater in the past, but it grew on me. Actually, I don't mind it now, and even I'm considering adding more pieces in this color, maybe accessories and stuff. Let me know if you've ever had a color you've hated but ended up loving. It is so interesting to see how our taste changes and evolves. But back to the drawing. When I saw her look, I immediately pictured this outfit in a real life situation with chilly fresh air, walking in a park under cherry blossom trees and running errands. This is literally the most perfect early spring day I can imagine. So I wanted to incorporate that feeling into this illustration, but instead of painting the full background, I opted for more of a symbolic collage in the background, and that would be more fitting for a fashion magazine illustration. I've added more textures and made the character look like a cutout from a magazine. Then I added the pink paint because 1, I love pink, and 2, cherry blossoms are pink, so I chose this abstract way of painting them. And at the very end, I decided to make it look even more like a collage, and I used a cherry blossom illustration from Unsplash. It was uploaded by the Library of Congress, and it is a watercolor done by Krita Chill in 1921. Springtime is one of my favorite time of the year because of the blooming trees and freshness in the air. I wish I could see the cherry blossom season in Japan in real life, but for now all I can do is draw and illustrate my dreams, and maybe one day I will be able to see that in real life. In Poland there are also some blooming trees, but not as many, and it really depends where you are. Well, of course many countries have such trees, but Japan is the first that comes to mind, I guess. I'm not the best at illustrating seasonal things and events, but cherry blossom season is definitely right up my alley, and it always gets me excited to draw. I started this channel 2 years ago and I uploaded my first time-lapse in March. That was a Genshin Impact fan art with a cherry blossom background. That was my turning point to focus on watercolor technique and a more feminine style. So thank you for being here and following my art journey. And that is everything I have for you today. Let me know in the comments what you think about this type of video and editing, or about my illustration, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care, bye bye.